All right, hey ChatGPT, so can you generate me a really ugly face with poor facial proportions? Let's see what it gives us. Holy shit! Oh shit! Oh my gosh. All right, I think that suffices, guys. I think that suffices for our analysis. You know what? Just for sake of this video, let's ask it to make us a side profile as well, just to be comprehensive. Now make me also a side profile of this face, fully facing to the side, like a clinical photo. All right, so it's generating the photo for us. Looks to be in good position, good side profile angle. Looks equally chopped to the front profile. Holy, upper eyelid exposure. Yo, that nose is crazy. Oh my word. Jaw recessed. Is ChatGPT based? It knows what assessments make one ugly and attractive. Yep, jaw recessed. ChatGPT is blackpilled confirmed. That is hands down the worst side profile I have ever seen in my life. Alright, so let's go into our Face IQ Labs here, which you guys can sign up for early access to if you want. Now, you won't be able to use it yet, but we'll be launching in the next few weeks, and we'll notify you guys ASAP once that drops. It's going to be pretty awesome. So, yeah, I don't even know. His hairline is so chopped, I can't even. So, top, trichion, eyebrows are very lacking. Now, let me know what you guys would rate this face generated by ChatGPT. I'd probably give it like a 1, to be honest. I think a 1 might be generous. And that's me being objective, right? It's not even like a subjective rating, like, ew, like you're a woman, like, ew, he's ugly, but in reality he's like a 3 or a 4. But this guy's actually a 1 out of 10, like 1 in millions type of ugly. Look at the scleral show. That's insane. Now, what does this prove, guys? By the way, this also proves that certain features are objectively bad looking because the data set ChatGPT was trained on and the standard it used to generate this basically outputted the exact features I anticipated it would to make a super ugly face. Undefined jawline, severe nasolabial folds, upper eyelid exposure, asymmetry, eye bags, flared ears, messed up teeth, mentolabial creasing, giant nose, messed up facial proportions, balding, like literally every feature I could have wanted to generate, ChatGPT did it. And his chin practically is down here because he has a double chin, so we're going to go with that. That's the side effect of being really overweight, is when you have that much fat, it just creates the illusion of a longer face and a double chin. Neck point. Ear. Orbital region. Snaps onto his Frankfurt plane. If you guys are watching this video and wondering what the hell you're watching, you've reached the dark corners of YouTube. You've made it. Again, where do I even map his jawline here? It's like over here somewhere. Move this. By the way, I'll make an opposite video of this one where I map the face that's used in this reference mapping here, which actually has pretty close to 100% harmony, about 90%. And I'll just kind of idealize his face a little bit and show you guys what 100% harmony looks like. I don't know if ChatGPT could just generate us a face with 100% harmony off the bat. That'd be pretty impressive. All right, analysis complete. All right, so as you guys can see, he scored a 1 out of 10 for facial harmony, which, to be honest, that aligns perfectly with what I expected in terms of his overall rating. And his other features, like his dimorphism, his angularity, and his eyebrow density, nasal bulbousness, and so forth, those are all awful as well. So it makes sense that all of them wouldn't really improve his score that much either. So 1 out of 10 is, that's like pretty much as ugly as you can get. So he scored an 8% or 0.8 out of 10 and about 2.7 out of 10 on the side profile. So let's take a look at some of his strengths and flaws that came up in this analysis. And then after everything, we're going to ask ChatGPT to Looksmax him and see what the result is. That should be interesting. So only 3 strengths were flagged here, which are his forehead width. It looks pretty reasonable compared to his cheekbones and jaw width. His brow ridge, which surprisingly isn't that bad in shape, the nasofrontal angle at least. And his neck width, which is kind of negligible since he's obviously like overweight. But yeah, at least his neck isn't like extremely wide. That's okay, I guess. Now in terms of flaws, I mean, look how many severe flaws flagged. Over 10, I anticipate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's a lot of severe flaws. Underprojected chin, very clear given all these assessments. Like that's almost obvious. Mandibular recession, again, since the mandible is an extension of the chin. Disproportionate lower face, short upper jaw. I mean, his face is kind of doing something weird there, but still applicable. Elongated lower jaw. He has a double chin, makes sense. Insufficient eye tilt, true. Long face shape, true. Close set eyes, very true. Round facial profile, long mid-face, flat jaw. That's due to his lacking jaw definition. So that results in the no discernible steep or angular jaw formation. Wide nose, high set eyebrows. Round neck region due to his submental cervical angle. Overly full lower lip, downturn eyebrows. Medium set cheekbones, and these are just kind of minor flaws. So let's take a look at some of them. You can see clearly how long his lower third is, and now obviously the structure of his face doesn't actually mean that his jaw is that long, but it's the fact that his double chin makes it look that long. Like you can't even see where his face ends, if that makes sense. Like obviously his chin is somewhere around here, but it makes it look like it ends all the way over here. And he gets deducted pretty heavily here in our scoring system, which you guys will have access to all of this in the app, but these features with these specific flaws and detailed insight, as well as this scoring guide that provides detailed insight onto your scoring breakdown, that stuff will be at the pro tier, so it's a little bit more gate-kept information. But you'll still have access to all of these assessments and ranges and values and overall harmony score with the basic plan. So pretty big flaw there. Insane total facial width to height ratio, 1.8. That's probably the longest face shape I've ever seen in my life, which is due to his balding and his double chin here. I mean, you can see just how far it literally extended the axis all the way over here. That's crazy. Wow. Lower third proportion, again, likewise, very extreme. One eye apart test is surprisingly pretty good. Mouth width to nose width, facial width to height ratio. Surprisingly not too bad, but still big flaw. Chin to philtrum ratio, very extreme. That's kind of due to the facial expression though. Obviously, we could have picked a better photo, but I'm not going to ask ChatGPT to like redo his analysis. Let's just assume for the sake of this that he has like some deformity where his lip is permanently in that position. Lateral canthal tilt, that's some extreme negative canthal tilt. Like that is severe. Now I think, yeah, it might even be more than that if I put the lateral canthus down here. But that is some severe negative canthal tilt. I don't think I've ever seen eyes that droopy. Severe eyebrow asymmetry, and they're pretty high set as well. Neck width, forehead width, yeah, pretty reasonable, 84%. Yeah, this is insane. Brow ridge inclination, very sloped back forehead. Nasofrontal angle, pretty normal actually, ideal. Now his nasal tip angle is quite high due to his bulbous nasal tip. It just makes the angle too obtuse. Nasolabial angle is surprisingly fairly normal. Facial convexity is extremely low. Usually this should be in that 167 to 178 range, but he has severely low facial convexity, which pretty much guarantees some kind of mandibular recession or underprojected chin, or combination of the two. Total facial convexity likewise extremely low due to the combination of his jaw recession and his overly projected nose. That is incredible Nasal projection is the ratio itself is low, but it indicates an unideal nose shape due to the bloated and overprojected dorsum here, which extends to this Frankfurt line. Lip assessments are very bad. See, his lower lip is too protrusive, upper lip is not protrusive. Very severe disharmony there. Mandibular plane angle looks okay, but again, it's really hard to map his actual face here because let me show you guys something here. So if we go to, let's say, the gonale angle. Now, technically the menton, which is this point on the lower jaw, it looks like his jaw actually is over here. But the problem is when you map the submental angle, you want to have this curvature. So his whole like jaw is just weirdly structured. Like he has like a sack, like a pelican underneath his chin. So it's like really strange. But irrespective, I think it doesn't really matter either way. His jaw angle could be like this. So that's kind of difficult to discern. Ramus to mandible looks pretty high actually, because his mandible is very short. So in terms of the actual proportion of his ramus to his mandible, it's actually reasonable, but all the other assessments, that's why we factor in everything, are flagging issues with his mandible. Mentolabial angle, actually pretty reasonable. He has severe submental fat and adiposity, so he could benefit from something like a submentoplasty or liposuction underneath his chin to remove this double chin area here. Yeah, otherwise it's way too obtuse. Orbital vector, clearly negative. You can see the apex of his eye here is in front of the infraorbital region. All right, now turn him into a gigachad, a really good looking guy with excellent facial proportions while retaining some of his identifiable features like his skin tone and his shirt, I guess. But just make him a chad, make him really good looking. All right, so his hairline is fixed. Let's see the rest of his face. His eyebrows look better. Lower set eyebrows. Better canthal tilt. Yeah, it doesn't even look like the same person. Now, I guess what this proves, guys, is with great dedication, with great diligence, and if you believe, you can accomplish anything. You can go from a 1 to an 8.5. Now, our app is going to include hundreds of pieces of advice, soft maxing and hard maxing. There's been literally nothing like this ever. But being realistic, this type of transformation is impossible. Doesn't matter how much advice, how much diligence, how much effort you put into Looksmaxxing. You probably need to be reborn to get this result. But that's not to say that he couldn't improve. So let's say he got a hair transplant, improved his hairline to Norwood 1, got some filler into his facial creases, glabellar creases, frown lines, and forehead creasing, nasolabial folds. I mean, I don't know how correctable all this would be. Rhinoplasty would correct this to a decent degree. Maybe some fat grafting around here in his upper eyelid. He needs severe jaw surgery, maybe double jaw surgery. I think he could improve to at least like that 3 to 4 range. Lose some weight, right? I mean, that just goes to show the power of Looksmaxxing. I guarantee this guy could see at least a 1 to 2 point improvement. Now, it would take a lot of Looksmaxxing, but it shows the same principle applies if you're like a 4 or a 5. You can definitely see some big improvements. Now, soft maxing, you will see some improvement for sure, but if you really put your mind to it and get a full extensive list of surgical advice, surgery is going to be the only way to really ascend like a great amount of points, then you can definitely improve more than 1 point, even 2 points sometimes, depending on how bad your baseline was. So yeah, definitely let me know if you guys like the video. I have some pretty interesting video ideas coming up. Maybe we're going to analyze Thanos next, which should be really interesting given his facial proportions. And yeah, feel free to sign up for Face IQ Labs for early access when we launch. Link in the description. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.